Yo, fellas, what is going on? What is going on? It is your boy Kamish Moolah, man, back with another one. Oh my, let me fix this image though. This is not the right image. You feel me? I'm behind on the image. There we go. There we go. We back. My guy BJ in attendance. Shout out to my guy BJ in the building. Brandon James, man. Had a really good game last week, man. Had a really good game in week 11. We headed to week 12. And you know we got to start this thing off for the podcast just to make sure everything is everything. Um, Let me get a sound check in the chat if you with me. Let me see the guys that's in there. Definitely drop a comment. Shout out to my guy Ace Andre Roche, my guy Eli Carter, man. We got a nice little group of guys, man, that got some dope players they've been investing in. And I think it's gonna be fun to see these guys go to the next level, especially with the college game. I feel like the college game is gonna be the real big boom to have everything on a new platform. Guys getting ready for the pros. My guy Keyshawn Covington. I think next season is going to be serious because guys are playing for draft stock as well as that chip. I think this year is like, it's funny to say that this year gonna be the icing on the cake, but it's really gonna kind of be the icing on the cake because the guys who have success this year going into next year just have so much confidence. They could build up their accolades. Really, the guys who perform well individually too go a long way as far as building up their resume going into that college game, and I think that's gonna be really really fun just to see pan out. Just as the commissioner, I'm super excited to see it. And then from just a fan perspective, because I'm also probably the biggest fan of this, and watch every game. I tune into the different players. I like, compare the players on my own. I try not to do too much comparison because it's just me and I don't want guys to feel like it's favoritism. Early on, we know we had a lot of guys who um I don't want to say they felt like it was favoritism towards any players, but they felt like maybe that it was some favoritism towards the generics, or like that I was trying to make it in a way that the generics were the better players. I don't know. I feel like maybe that thing is dispelled the later we got on, but I just try to do my best to be balanced. If you're not playing good, I'm gonna tell you. If you playing alright, I'll let you know. Not like, nah, you've been playing good, but I try to stay even kill with things, man. Shout out to my guy Tank Jackson as well. And yeah, I just try to keep it, down the middle with things. I try not to lean heavy to one side or be biased at all. And I think we've walked that line pretty fine. I don't think I've ever really favored anything, especially if it's not deserve it. You know what I mean? Like if guys haven't earned, me talking my talk, then I'll be on it. Facts. Like even Eli know, like because I'm still cool with guys too. So it's like I'm gonna make my little jokes here and there. Like when guys are talking they trash, feeling like they that guy, I'm gonna be like, yo, bro, you think you that guy, but like you know what I'm saying? So I'm still gonna throw my little 1-2 in there, but I definitely don't show no favoritism because I feel like it'd be whack. Like if I was just pampering and tending to all the active guys, it's whack. Like nobody we've been in those type of settings before, y'all. If y'all been in the sim community and y'all been at different schools, then y'all know, that those type of settings isn't, it's not fun because everybody's gonna go with the commissioner. And now that creates a hub of guys that just yes men, and I fuck with y'all too. I don't know if YouTube allows the cursing, but just in case they don't, for me, I'm gonna try to chill. But I rock with my guys too because my guys here ain't no yes men. My guys here talk trash in a second. They'll you know, go at each other, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of competition and it's friendly competition too. Like Tank and Eli go at each other all day. BJ be going at people and it's fun. I let guys do their thing. I don't be on top of nothing too crazy. My guy Cam be talking his talk, man, and we be having fun with it, man. I think it's easy flowing, easy going. We gonna build on the structure as we go. Y'all know I ain't going nowhere. I got other business ventures and everything, but I still make sure that it's time prioritized for this. And I communicate with y'all. I show y'all what I got going on. My personal page is always up to at Cheek Moolah. So if you ever, trying to figure out what the commission's on, man, you can head to my personal page. You could go to the Moolahverse page. The Discord is open for everyone. And we just trying to build this thing up our way. It's our league, and we trying to do it our way, man. And I really appreciate the guys that I got rocking with me because we don't got no crazy staff. I just got mods that if things need to be done, these guys be on top of it. My guy Miles and BJ been doing a good job with the bank and bets. They've been killing it with that. Yeah, man. The guys in the chat, we don't really have to moderate too much in the chat on the YouTube chat, but we got enough mods for that. Like we got a lot of guys, and I think it's cool. I think we got a good vibe, man. So we definitely gonna get into some of that Madden franchise tool, and we gonna see what's going on. Here we go, Madden franchise tool. And which I want to look over first. So I guess we could look over. We could just go to those games. We go to some games, or we could start with standings. How y'all want to do it? Shout out to my guy, Not Your Average 10K. My guy's new to the Moolah verse. He been tuning in. He's been a welcome addition, man. Shout out to my guy Ronnie Shanahan, Ronnie Football. Ronnie had himself a game this week, man. So I guess we could go to last week's schedule and look at these games. Of course, y'all know I have to edit the schedule because of like the way that we shifted from originally doing NFL schedule to go into a college style with the 12 games. So bear with me on the schedule for next week. This is what's gonna help us when we actually have the college game out, because I don't have to overcompensate and do little things to make sure things make sense. But as it stands right now, you will play everybody in your division once, which will be like your zone. You guys know what zones are. We got a graphic on our Instagram if you want to check out the zones. And then if you're in our Discord, you can also check out the zones. You would go to the tab in divisions, and it'll show you who's in your zone. So you'll play everybody in your division on your side of the zone once, and you may play a couple of other teams from different zones, but you definitely could just use that to gauge where you at as far as playoffs and stuff. But we could look over some games. Ohio State versus NC State. I think this is definitely a game where NC State was the favorite and it came out with the W. NC State got it done against Ohio State. Not too much of a surprise for anyone. Ohio State, they have talent, but they just haven't put it together, man. A lot of freshmen on that team, and I think these guys were a bit tough on each other. However, it wasn't too much camaraderie in that locker room as far as getting things together for a better outcome. I feel like they didn't really know what to do in the locker room, and they suffered from that. Suffered from a bit of inactivity. They were pretty active, but I just feel like they couldn't get their minds together to figure out what they needed to run. I feel like their most active guy was more so into basketball, but he got into football because of the experience, and that's my guy Chris Beach. He just tuned in. Shout out to my guy Chris Beach, man. Yeah, so Chris Beach really got in tune in the Ohio State locker room. He's the wide receiver for Ohio State, and Chris Beach really got in tune and started to figure some things out, working on his player. And I just think he didn't have a lot of help. It was a lot of guys maybe chattering during games, but I feel like they didn't have the football mind to put together a winning game plan or a winning playbook. And they suffered this year from that. 2-8, 2 games left. And that's not, where you want to be record-wise. Shout out to my guy Kanar Roden in the chat. Yeah, man, those things come with stride. NC State is a AI team. Sometimes the AI just plays to the team's strength as far as game plans and things of that nature, and it worked well for them, man. So NC State got the dub, and that wasn't surprising, man. NC State was the more consistent team this year, and I think I had NC State coming into that game. Florida versus Oklahoma. This is a really big game because Florida is one of the top teams in their zone. However, since Florida looked like one of the top dogs and beat Bama, they're the only team to beat Bama. Florida has kind of went on a downswing, guys. Florida has took some tough losses. They lost to some tough teams, but they're starting to take some hits on their resume. As it stands right now, Florida's, they could be if you look at NFC North and AFC North, which will make one zone. So if you look across to the different conferences, those complete one zone. It's 8 teams per zone, 4 teams per division. And if you look at their zone, they're like in maybe they could be third to fourth place behind Utah. Or they could be ahead of Utah, however you look at it, because they beat Bama. But on their side of things, it's looking like Bama is gonna represent, which would be zone two in the zone championship, and it looks like Bama's gonna be up against the Beavers right now, just from what we're seeing, and that's kind of tough for Utah and the Gators because it looked like they had a shot. I think Utah still has a chance depending on what happens with Oregon State in these next 2 games. However, um, it's not looking like the Gators have a shot anymore, guys. And I would definitely say they can't lose another game. Um, you know, I would say the only chance Bama may have of getting in the conference chip is if their record winds up being better than Oregon State's. And and even then it's still tough. I would have to look at resume, but I would say they would have to win out and Oregon State would have to lose as well as Utah. So that's tough right there for the Gators. And it's just some things that they're gonna have to figure out, man. Gators took some tough losses. I actually want to see who the Gators have lost to. And you guys could let me know what you want to see in the chat, what things y'all want me to dive into a little more. But I'm gonna try to keep the conversation flowing, and based on y'all comments, we could pivot to different things. But I'm trying to see who the Gators lost to. They lost to Texas A&M. That's tough. They lost to NC State. That's tough. They lost to Notre Dame and then they lost to Oklahoma. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough to have those type of losses on your resume. Is pretty tough, man. Definitely pretty tough, man. When you look back at things, and I don't see how they'll get in that conference championship, which is that zone championship. So you got to think AFC North and NFC North makes a conference. You know what I'm saying? The conferences, we call them zones. So if you just look across that, if you whatever teams is east is just in a conference together, whichever teams is north in a conference, whatever team is south is in a conference, and whichever teams are west is in one conference. So like we basically combine NFC, AFC West, NFC South, and so on and so on. Just so you guys can, keep up with how we got things going. And USC, speaking of USC in the chat, these guys have really solidified themselves in their zone, and it's looking like it's going to be a USC LSU conference championship. Of course, Ole Miss is still in the fold. If Ole Miss can put something together, if they can maybe win out and USC lose out, then maybe Ole Miss has an argument to go to the conference chip against LSU. Maybe LSU LSU has one more game left, and they've already won 8 games. But maybe there's a scenario where LSU loses the next game and things get tricky. But for right now, LSU is looking like them guys right now in their conference, in their zone. And I gotta tip my hat to LSU, man. These guys really played impressive football, and they've worked their way up, man. I would say they got some AI help. The coaching staff, the AI coaching staff just seems to have known what they were doing with that LSU group. It wasn't pretty early on for LSU, but towards the end of this year, these guys are looking really, really good. Shout out to my guy Ace Lewis in the chat. Shout out to all my guys in the chat, man. Yeah, man. Like I said, man, it's getting to that time where every game is super important, and as you look at these zones which make up a conference, like I said, look across. East and East is one conference, North and North is one conference, South and South is one conference, West and West is one conference. So if you look at it from that standpoint, there's some close battles. The closest battles are when we get into, I would say, the East has the closest battles right now. Michigan is at the top. So Michigan is looking like they're still in a running definitely for a conference chip and potentially a playoff spot. I feel like the conference chips is now at this point, looking at the records, are going to be made up of the top teams in the zone. So whoever wins that zone championship are likely is 4 zones. And out of the 4 zones, I feel like whoever win that zone championship, which is that conference chip, are gonna be the teams that's representing, their zone in the playoffs in the Final Four. So Michigan still has a really good opportunity. I think if Michigan wins out, they solidify themselves. But they have to watch out for MSU still. They did take a tough loss to Michigan State. So they have to watch out for MSU because if it's a tiebreaker, MSU is going to get them. And I would say they got to worry about Texas, but it's not looking like so much. Maybe more so Oklahoma State has to worry about Texas because Oklahoma State is looking like they're going to be representing on their side. And that kind of that may throw a lot of guys for a loop, man. I would think if you looked, man, yeah, I'm definitely gonna be playing College Football 25 when it comes out. Right now, we're just on the Madden mod. That's why we have to use this interface. But as soon as that College 25 come out, we're switching everything to College Football 25. Man, it's gonna be super lit. And that's why I said you joined at the right time. And just the way I feel like doing that next year, I think is gonna be really fun. So yeah. I think it's gonna be a fun thing to watch and a fun thing to partake in. I think next year, um, I think next year we should have a nice amount of signees and stuff too. A nice amount of people signing up, and what we got like what 2 months till the college game. So I got after this off season, I got some time to do stuff with the first pro class, which will be full of generics, and then we'll be transitioning to that game and figuring out how that looks. So it should be a nice little off season. Just because I don't think starting another season makes sense on this platform. And I don't think guys want to see another season on this platform when they're draft eligible and can see their last year of eligibility, what their draft eligible year on the college football games. So I think that'll be the best way to put it. And of course, because we are simulation setting AI versus AI, I think that guys will definitely want to watch themselves on the new interface. So definitely not opposed to that. We're gonna make it happen. And back to this East Conference, man. It's kind of like the Oklahoma State Cowboys got a chance to do some. They do have 2 games left, so they gotta be careful because Texas and the Spartans are on their heels. But in this conference right now, you got the Wolverines leading the pack with the most wins. However, they can't get complacent. They do have 11 games played, but I think they still need a win. I think if the Wolverines get a win this week, they're solidified in the conference championship, and that's one step closer to their dream of getting in that Final Four. So the Wolverines definitely are gonna want to get a W here, and try to turn things up. And I know that Zion and Tank, aka Gary, are gonna be doing what they need to do to make sure that team is prepared, man. Because those guys do their thing. But just looking at this, man, the conferences are very, very tough right now, and it's a lot, man. It's a lot going on right now, and it's gonna be fun to see unfold. Bama looks the most comfortable, but who they're gonna go against is still up in the air. Out of the Gators, Utah, and the Beavers. Then we got Michigan State. I mean, Michigan looking like they got the main spot right now in their conference. However, you still got Penn State in the fold at 6-5. You still got MSU in the fold at 6-4. You got the Longhorns in the game at 6-5 as well, and you got Oklahoma State at 6-4. So it's a lot of competition still in Zone 1, which is the East, and that's tough. Like that's a nail biter as far as who's gonna wind up being that team to come out of Zone 1, which would be like that East top conference right there. And then Bama kind of got it right now. It's really between them and Oregon State. However, Oregon State has to be careful because if they slip in these next 2 games, you got Florida and Utah on their heels. LSU got it right now. I think even with a loss, LSU could be comfortable because USC is the only people that's really on their heels. You kind of got Ole Miss still there in the fold, but I think Ole Miss needs some losses or maybe a loss from, they need a loss or two, and they have to win to get back in the fold in their conference. They're on a 2-game losing streak, and this is just a bad time to go on a losing streak, man. So zone 1 is definitely the craziest zone right now. And zone 3 is still interesting, man. Ole Miss, USC, and LSU, those 3 teams are really good. But I just feel like LSU and USC are finishing strong. 3-game win streak for USC, 2-game win streak for LSU, and then as you see, Ole Miss just on a 2-game losing streak. It's not looking good, man. But they definitely still have a shot. When you look at Zone 4 now, you got NC State Wolfpack, the Fighting Irish still in it, Mississippi State Bulldogs still in it. Colorado is still in it after getting a huge win, and Florida State. Right now, it looks like Florida State and NC State are at the top of that zone. However, I think is a couple teams that maybe can make a push. UNC at 5-5. Say if they win the next 2 games and they go 7-5. If they get a couple losses, can they, can they get it done? If Florida State and NC State was to both lose their last games, that will make them both 6-6. If you know what I'm saying, like that makes things interesting, because if they're 6-6, now you got Notre Dame and the Tar Heels right in the fight. You got the Bulldogs and Colorado in the fight. So it's crazy, man. It's really crazy. It's really crazy to see. That conference is ridiculous. I would say Zone 1 and Zone 4 are ridiculous right now. Zone 1 and Zone 4 can come down to the last week. They can come down to the last week. So Zone 1 and Zone 4 is going to be crazy to see unfold as we, dig into this a little more and unpack this. But it's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting. I'm mad that I didn't want to postpone the podcast. But I'm mad that the schedule, that I have to make those tweaks to the schedule, because I would have liked to seen the schedule for the next week at least. But what I'll do is I'll take a day like tomorrow to really lock in and fix that schedule. And when we get that schedule going, man, the heat is on. The heat is on. I know it's some teams that still have to play a team in their division before the season is out, so we got to get those matchups in there. But outside of that, the heat is on. Yeah, Michigan has to play Penn State still. Florida has to play Auburn, and Notre Dame has to play NC State. So that's gonna be huge. That Notre Dame NC State game is going to be huge, and that may be next week. That's gonna have a lot of implications. Shout out to my guy Pharaoh Reigns in the chat, man. My guy Pharaoh of Texas, definitely in the building. And yeah, man, these zones are looking tough, man. These zones are looking tough. So we guys got to kind of win now, man. You can't play around. You cannot play around. If you play, you may be in trouble. I got to get with my mods and see what double games we have on here. Because based on the double games we have, I'll switch them out, and but I would say, can somebody get a screenshot and post this in the mod chat so we could start seeing what double games are in there? You guys can help me look over and see which games are doubles. If y'all can, screenshot this first one right here, and then screenshot as I go down to this one, just to see which games are doubles. Michigan, we'll stop there. And let me know if one of y'all got it, just so I could get in the chat with the mods and we could see which games are doubles, so we can knock them out and get this schedule done as fast as possible. But it's definitely almost win or go home for I would say 85% of the league. It may be a 10 to 15% that can take one loss and maybe still be okay. As we look at the power rankings, here's what the power rankings has as the top 4 teams. This is not official. This is just the power rankings. As you can see, they have Ole Miss in front of USC, and they have them in front of the Wolverines. Even though Ole Miss has less wins than them, they just feel like Ole Miss is a team not to be played with. They're on a bit of a losing streak right now, but it's tough. It's tough. It's tough. So this is as we go down, you can see, and that top 10 is all super competitive still. Like that top 10, I would say top 11, uh, top. Yeah, man, it's really a lot of guys that are still in this fight. I would say the top 15 teams. They got the Cowboys of Oklahoma State ranked 17 on the power rankings, even though they're 6-4. They got some worse teams ahead of them, and that's just due to who these teams I believe are losing to. Let's see who the Sooners lost to. Oklahoma State. They lost to Michigan State, tough team. They lost to who else? Let's see. Um, that loss to Ohio State is bad. They lost to Alabama. They lost to the Wolverines. They lost to the Buffs, and they beat Florida. So yeah, Oklahoma just had a tough schedule, and they made their way, man. They made their way. They did, they did look pretty good. And here's another interesting thing that I pose, guys. I'm not sure really how this will work with the conferences. But I have been pondering on this, guys. I have been pondering on this. Not sure if I want to get anybody's hopes up, right? But with 14 teams being in the playoffs, I know we decided to not go with the extra NFL games, right? But what if we was to do the 14 team playoffs? How how would y'all feel about that if we was to still make this, if this was still to be the playoff bracket with 14 teams? How do you guys feel about that? Because the NCAA is honestly moving up the playoffs. I think they're agreeing on 12 teams. They did 4 this year. That's why I was gonna go with 4. But I think they're thinking about doing 12, and I don't think it would hurt to maybe have a 14 team playoff. Like we'll keep the regular season games to 12, of course. We'll do the conference championship like regular, and then what I would do is just force win all the teams who are in playoff contention, so that way we can keep the seeding going for the 14 team playoffs. Um, you know what I'm saying? Because the NCAA has switched it to 12 teams. And if there's only 14 teams, then we'll have 2 more teams. But I don't think that that's terrible, guys. I'm not opposed to that idea. But just let me know how you guys feel about it. NCAA, let me see, NCAA playoffs 2024. Yeah. Yeah, they're going with a 12 team model now. So, guys, I'm thinking about extending that playoffs and maybe allowing the 14 teams. The only thing that I was worried about was based on was maybe the divisions getting tricky with who's leading the division, because I know that Madden may put them in the division. But I feel like if we do the zone as the conference chips to keep it consistent, then the way that Madden groups the playoff bracket is just, that's just what we'll have to deal with. And it still wouldn't work out bad, because if you look at it this way, the top teams will still get that good seeding, based on which conference they in. And we have Prime and Gridiron as those conferences, although they're not legit conferences because we have the zones. That's how we have it. So and that's what I'm saying. That's the only thing, Pharaoh. We wouldn't be able to make one go against 14 because I can't alter the playoff schedule once we're in there. So it'll likely be that, like NFL style, where the one has the bye week, So it would be that way, where one has the bye week. And if you look at the home, this is the teams that would make the playoffs if it ended today. Things ended today, these are the teams that will make the playoffs. So it would definitely make a longer shot right now, but I think this is what I'm leaning towards, only because if the NCAA went up to 12, I just would hate to miss out on that comp, like seeing these teams really battle it out on a bracket. I don't want to miss out on that experience, guys. I think we got a nice group of active guys here that will really enjoy that level of competition in the postseason. Um, so I don't know, man. Let me know how y'all feeling. Let's take a chat vote right now. We got some guys in the chat, right? Are y'all for? Drop the number that y'all for. 4 or 14. Drop 4 or 14. Drop 4 or 14 if you're and to let me know what you're going with. And I'm actually gonna write down who said what because some guys are more active than others. So I definitely do take in consideration the guys who are a bit more active than others. So we got Ace. But I mean, even if you're not active, still vote. Because everybody opinion matters. I still want to take an overall vote, but I may just lean towards the guys who are most active. But I still want an overall vote. I'm writing this down right now, too, guys. So 14, okay. JJ Bailey 14. Eli Carter 14. So it's looking like a 14 sweep. Roden says 14. So the guys are flooding 14 in the chat. And it seems like the guys want Keyshawn Covington 14. Okay. So guys want the 14. And y'all know me. I'm the type of commish that likes to get everybody involved and go with the majority. So as it stands right now, we could keep the 14. But what I will do is I still can put like I still can make something in the Discord that asks guys in the Discord. But Roden says he's down with giving everybody a chance. 14, you're definitely gonna have to earn the title, I think. Definitely. You're definitely gonna have to earn that title. And I just feel like maybe we'll get some better games playing in the actual playoff setting on the mod. That's another thing that I just feel like. I feel like Madden will make some fire games. Um, yeah, I feel like Madden is gonna create some fire games if we do it like that through the mod. And then like I said, what I could do is after that series, I could just make sure that I would force the wins for the teams. Force the wins for the extra games for the teams that were supposed to get to the playoffs. Um, so 14. Now y'all still don't have a shot at 14 because it will still be 12 games. So y'all 3-7 right now. So even if y'all won those 2 games, y'all will be 5-7. And I doubt a 5-win team is gonna make the playoffs in that sense. Yeah, so y'all pretty much out of here. Farrell also said 14. Let me see. Reigns. Yeah. So yeah, it's looking like a sweep for 14. We got 7 guys, and of these 7 guys, they are really active guys that's saying that. But I will ask some guys in the chat as well. But I like the 14 too. I think the 14 is not bad. If NCAA moved up to 12, we just added 2 more teams, and I'm not even sure if they already added on or solidified that it's 12 teams. Um, Utah got 4 doubles. What you mean? Nah, Utah don't got 4 doubles. They got only 2 doubles, bro. Utah only got 2 doubles. Look, Utah got Oregon. Oregon is the only team that they played twice. Yeah, facts. Oregon is the only team Utah played twice. I guess you could say their record is a little bit inflated because Oregon is a bad team. They was able to get 2 wins off of them, but you know, he said I tried. But it is what it is, man. They got that. They snuck and got one. And that was only because we was going with the a lot of games at first. Them and Ole Miss actually got away with that. 2 wins against a bad team, and they snuck their way in the playoffs. So hey, let's see if it's real. Let's see if it's meant to be, man. Yeah, 1 and 2 will get a bye week in the 14-team tournament. Yup, 1 and 2 will definitely get the bye week, and then we'll have those guys on the wild card, and I think it works out because it looks like Utah and Ole Miss may be in that wild card, or yeah, maybe on that wild card on each side. depending on how these last few weeks go, last couple weeks go. So yeah, man, we gonna figure it out. We gonna figure it out, and I just think having that real playoff bracket works because then we can like have the games the way they're supposed to have the sim in a winner go home situation. I'm all for having a sim in like that winner go home situation because I think teams play a different type of way than if we was to having them play playoff games in a regular season due to the way the mod is and the scheduling. I think if I was to be able to know like, okay, these teams, let me let these teams win out to get them the playoff spot and let's get them in an actual playoff bracket. I think the outcomes of the games that we'll have will be a lot like better, and it'll be fun to watch, man. It's definitely gonna be tough for them top teams, but they still gonna have to win about the same amount of games that they would in the Final Four. The Final Four will be 2 games. What a team that gets a bye will have to win 3 games. So, you definitely gotta earn that ring. But it is what it is, man. You gotta do what you gotta do. Um, yeah, man. Check out these rankings. Check out these power rankings. Like I said, they're not official, but they are based on what the game sees and what the game thinks. Um, Notre Dame may still be in there as well. That's tough. I know that they will be excited about that. I know Brandon would definitely say 14 as well. So let me just put BJ 14 because I know BJ is gonna say 14. Um, I know BJ is gonna say 14 because his team gets more of an opportunity to compete for a title, and I just think it's dope, man. Give guys more of a chance to play for a title, man. We gotta talk about the rewards too because a lot of guys went inactive, so it didn't really pan out the way. And not that it hurt me, but I was trying to pay guys for winning the championship, but a lot of guys' teammates who had inflated attributes wound up being CPU players. So I just don't think that it's like as fair. It didn't make as fair of a playing field because some teams had inflated generics due to guys going inactive. And I think that played a factor. So I kind of just don't feel right about the reward that I had going in. Like I was trying to pay 500 to the winning team. But now it's just kind of like guys have inflated attribute teammates like because guys when inactive you got some guys that of course had the high overalls because we allowed that in the intake of college, but they didn't stay active, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of just alters how fair it was to a team that won a chip. It's not like a real team. It's rare that a real team is gonna win a chip. It's really no teams that had all active guys where it was like if they win, then they can like they deserve the reward. A lot of guys had guys that weren't active. Like I would say a lot of teams, 50% of the team isn't active. So now you got inflated attribute guys. And I'm still trying to figure out what type of reward works, but I just don't feel like that is fair for like I just going into the playoffs too. I'm just like trying to figure that out because I just don't know how realistic that is. It's kind of like rewarding guys for stuff that wasn't really all the way even. And I'm not tripping off AI players. Like it happens, guys go inactive, but I feel like that hinders a reward system for winning. I think I may individually do some things. I may like do maybe individual cash payouts or individual SC payouts. I think I think maybe that works. And you guys let me know. Like I may just load up the guys who win with SC. Or we can figure out a number that works for you guys. But I'm talking about the active guys on the winning teams. You know what I mean? Like, cause I just don't. I just wouldn't feel right. Um, if a team has mad players that's inactive and they win a chip, and now that team gets paid for that when they had like I feel like that just not fair. Like other teams will look at it at that point and be like, yo, they have all these inactive guys with 90 overalls. Yeah, so I think that we'll do it like that. I guess we could do it like that because it just like it just creates an imbalance that I just feel is like kind of weird. That's what I'm saying. Maybe you do something like that where the active guys that get something, some form of cash, but or like just a SC payout, but it's like even the active guys benefited from the inactive guys being so highly like having a high overalls. You know what I mean? Like you got some 90 receivers because a guy made a receiver and we allowed the users to have higher stuff. And now the quarterback may be the only active guy. You know what I mean? Um, but it happens. It happens. So we'll figure it out. But yeah, man. Um, this schedule is not it. This is not the actual schedule. I don't think we gotta really go over these games. We could get into some statistics and talk about a couple other different topics that you guys may want to cover. Um, as you can see here, we got Duncan Woods still in the lead. Duke Davis, the truth, yo. Duke is him, man. They came back yet again. Like Bama has came back in so many games, guys, that it's not even funny at this point. It's been fun to watch. Honestly, it's been a beautiful thing to watch. These guys play really good all season long, and they battled. They battled. They fought hard. With extended playoffs, I'm wondering, are they gonna be burnt out by the time the playoffs come because of the effort that they put forth, or is that just in them? Is it just in them to step up in the big moment? And I think that remains to be seen. I think it definitely remains to be seen. Let me lower myself here just so I'm not in the way of any important stats. But yeah, man, I think it just remains to be seen. Are they them guys? But Duke is the truth, man. Duke is the truth. I just gotta say that. I tip my hat to the guy. He is a problem. Duncan Woods is a really good quarterback. I want to see if Duncan Woods is gonna be active when we get back into the swing of things next year. Because if he is, man, this kid is gonna be dangerous. I think he had all the intangibles. Um, you know, 24 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and you see the yardage. He put up a lot of big games. Completion percentage may not be the best. His team like to air it out, trust him with the ball, obviously, because I think he has the most attempts. No, Drew McNeil has the most attempts, but he's about second in attempts. And obviously they trust Duncan Woods with the ball. He didn't play bad outside of this uh um completion percentage being kind of low amongst his peers. I would say, 24 touchdowns, 11 interceptions is not terrible. You can build off of that, and I think being on the game next year, I think Duncan Woods will definitely be able to progress. Um, progress how he's been moving and progress at a nice rate. We don't know what that college progression system and stuff will look like, but I think Duncan Woods has a really good platform, and I think he can work his way into that elite conversation. Then you got Drew McNeil, another quarterback who shows a lot of flashes. Gotta cut down on the interceptions. 19 and 13 is not terrible, but that's kind of high. You know what I'm saying? We only played 12 games. He's averaging more than an interception a game. You know what I mean? He still has a couple games left, or maybe one game left. But 13 interceptions, 19 touchdowns. That's kind of high. 60% completion rate. Nice yardage. But I think if he tones down the interceptions, he'll be looking really good. He should be fine. Jason Duncan showed some really good flashes throughout the year. He has a really good receiving core too. I would say that really good tight end, really good wide receiver and profit margins, aka Pharaoh Reigns. So gotta show him some love, but he worked with it well. 20 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That's good money right there. Completion percentage 60%. That's good. It's QBR at 94.2. That's good right there. Definitely some things Jason Duncan got to work on in the moment. Got to work on some consistency, but he is a freshman, and I like his game. Ace Andre Roche, of course, the truth. I would say probably the most pro-ready quarterback outside of Duke Davis from what I've seen. He's really consistent. He doesn't make too many mistakes, much like Duke. You see the touchdown numbers for these guys. Duke has 25. He has 23. He's only 2 touchdowns behind Duke, and they're even in the interception mark with 6. 63% completion percentage. Duke right behind him with 62.9. And QBR 109, best QBR in the game right now. He's the top guy when it comes to QBR, and it's not too many guys that can play at a high level that way. Next up, next guy. He's not next on this list, but Johnny Manziel. I guess we'll go in order. Johnny Manziel. We're going in order of yards right now. But if I'm just looking at the QBs that I know is like really impressed me, Johnny Manziel was definitely impressive. 20 touchdowns, 6 intos. That's not bad. He competed. I think he didn't have as much talent maybe as Ace and Duke. Maybe not as much talent overall, including running back, tight end, stuff like that. But he definitely has some really good receivers. Rome Swan and Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson really being more so the exceptional guy. Rome Swan's really was cool. Cool, average, above average, slightly talent. I would say a good receiver, but Jalen Johnson was really the guy. And I think Marzell with like a deeper receiving core can be very dangerous. I think next year you may have to watch out because if he could get some guys to pair up with him wherever he goes, I think this kid is dangerous. I'm not sure, the teams we wanted to go with custom teams for the college game next year with our own custom conference because I know a lot of people gonna try to hit the ground running and do the leagues with the actual teams, and that's not bad. But I just really want to stay out I just want to stay out the bunch and do our own thing. And I won't be able to keep up with all the different conferences unless I move you guys as teams into one conference based on the most active teams. But I don't feel that's necessary. I think if we go with custom teams, our own colleges, make our own conference and build there, I think it's a lot of potential in that as far as from a content standpoint and just being true to being a Moulaverse and not, trying to just be another simulation setting that's trying to do things exactly how things are done in real life. We're very realistic. Everything is based on realism, but we can have our own twist on things, and I think it'll be fun to see. um but back to these QBs, man. I actually want to go to QBR real quick and see how it looks lining up in that realm, and it makes sense because Tyshawn Bryant is another top QB. You can't forget about this kid. Um, Maybe not. Maybe he's missing some of the big nights that Ace and Duke Davis has had with the big plays, and his yardage is a bit behind. But maybe it evens out too with the games. Maybe it definitely evens out with the games played as well. But Tyshawn really good. 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He doesn't make too many mistakes. Standout freshman. And I like what I seen from Mr. Bryant, man. He played really well. That QBR really high. Him and Ace, the highest in the game right now. Duke right behind them. You got Brock Williamson who played really well as well. Even Kenny Knox. Kenny Knox is really, really slept on, guys. And I am gonna bring Kenny Knox back to the college series, I believe. Um, matter of fact, I may have to make Kenny go. I only have to make Kenny go because I know we're gonna get a lot of user QBs, and if we're only gonna have um 12 teams in our conference setting or 8 teams in our conference setting that we'll be following, then I mean 8 quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't want to give that to generic guys. I would want to pick the most active users and the guys who I know could be a bit more involved to be a quarterback. I may have to like screen quarterbacks as well. I was honestly thinking about next year not even doing any fee for the league, but I'm just kind of feeling like quarterback is one of those positions that you may have to just pay for, man. Just because if you don't go active, if you're going active, then I could use you as a generic, and at least the spot is solidified. You pay for it, but it just, and I'm saying everybody who's in already is stays free. Like any quarterback that's active that's in already stays free. But I'm saying as far as like not having inactive guys at that position is so important. And we don't really want too much representation in the league that is not like trying to build up these QBs, especially with a college game coming and these guys being freshmen and being able to stay in a foul. Um, that may be tough. Yeah, and that college, that custom conference is definitely gonna be you know super competitive. I'm thinking 12 teams if they allow 12 teams in the conference. If they only allow 8, then I'll just do 8. But I'll really have to see like how many teams they allow in the conference, because that's what I ultimately want to do. And yeah, Kenny Knox had a really good year. He really wasn't on a good team, but 18 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. You just gotta, you gotta pay attention. 66% completion percentage. He wasn't making mistakes. In a league where mistakes are crucial, maybe he wasn't taking enough risks because the team didn't have success, but he wasn't making too much mistakes, man. And you got Jay Bognatt seventh, and the way it looks from a QBR standpoint, a lot of the top guys are where they are. It is some guys that aren't too high in the fold, but they play really well. Like Cam Bryant being one of them, Ronnie Shanahan being another. He has some really good games. They don't have wowing numbers, but I think the competitiveness of some of these guys are still noteworthy. Some of the activity too, based on these guys, noteworthy. Like Ronnie's a guy that's always around. I know he's in a lot of sim leagues, loves simulation sports. So Ronnie's another guy who kind of like, in my eyes, he's like solidified as he would be like solidified as a QB if he's to come back and be active, because like he's always around. He always peeks his head in and makes sure everything is everything. And I just know he's a player that enjoys watching his player and seeing what he's doing. So yeah, Ronnie's a guy that I definitely got to tap in with, and just see where that goes. But yeah, man, quarterback is definitely gonna be one of those positions that you gotta be in tune, man. Granted, if a guy had a nice year, playoff run or something, and we can't just kill him off, we'll make him a generic, and give him a shot to join back if he catches on later. But moving forward, I want to just have active guys at that QB position. But I definitely will allow, if a guy played really good and he's not replaceable because of the way he played, I will keep him and just give him a chance to like purchase his player back or something, so he can upgrade. But if you went inactive, then you definitely won't be able to upgrade your player, and you may just be watching him as is. If we have a user come in and take that spot, I may just leave you on whatever team you was on that's not a Mulaverse team, and then you won't watch him play, but you'll see him when we do the podcast and we look over stats for the entire NCAA. So I got creative ways to include those guys too, like those generics in the NCAA who's gonna be making noise. Because Madden does the entire draft class, it also makes it easy. And we can tune into those guys every once in a while. We can have one game that's like a national schedule game that's not necessarily in our conference, but two top teams on a national scale, just to keep an eye on what the national scale is looking like compared to our conference. I'm down for that as well. Also to see some big time players and guys who draft stock is like rising, and we don't get to see them play because they're not in our conference. I definitely don't have a problem with checking some things like that out. We go to touchdowns. Here's the QBs that's at the top. I know I'm kind of like slowly going through things because I'm talking to y'all through different things. But let me know, if it's something in particular that y'all want to see. Drop a comment, stay engaged in the chat, and I'll definitely get to certain stuff. But it's gonna be fun, man, watching this whole league pan out and unfold. It's been a lot of 25 news coming out. It'll be multiple cover athletes. We've been seeing some stuff, man, and I've been excited. Even some of the generic commentary I think is gonna be dope. We could try to see how that generic commentary looks on premier games, and I can't call them, and I think that makes primetime games so much more lit, because the generic commentary in college may be still a lot more fitting than NFL setting with generic with commentary when they calling teams, different teams and stuff. I think in a college setting it may work a little better. But here goes these QBs, man. I'm gonna go through yards one more time, just in case guys want to look back on this. Um, yeah, just in case guys want to go and check out their stats. I'll go through each category and just really go down. Um, you know what I mean? Completion percentage. We go to touchdowns for the QBs. And then we're going to get into that 1K club of the running backs, man. We got some running backs that's 1K clubbing it. Shout out to my guy Eli in the chat, man. No Limit Slum. But we got some 1K club running backs, man, that I can't wait to get to on this next tab. And here goes the interception guys. Trent Edwards and Drew McNeil at the top of that. Duncan Woods, Prince Gonzalez, top of second. 3 guys, top of third. And I had some QBs throwing some picks, but I feel like it wasn't too crazy. We don't got no too crazy interception machines, man. But we could go through the most sacked and all of that too. Least sacked quarterback, okay, Samaj because he was late. Enrique Parra because he got his spot taken. But Ace, the least sacked quarterback out of the quarterbacks that played all throughout the year. Him, Jason Duncan, Tyler Bledsoe, Sam Bucci, Jay Bogner, one of the least sacked. So got guys like Johnny Manziel still playing really good, although he's like the most sacked quarterback in the league. That's dope. That's dope to see. Get him some protection, man. Manziel might be a problem. Manziel may be a problem. You get him some protection. It's gonna be interesting to see him next year. Here goes the 1K club, guys. We got 5 guys in the 1K club. Key Harris, Devontae Moore, Ace Lewis, Patrick Vince, and Michael Smith. It looks like we're going to have a couple more guys in the 1K club, potentially, depending on how many games these guys got left. Tank Jackson is there, man. He in the fold. He got one game. He can do it. He got one more game, and he can do it. If he gets over 50 yards in the next game, he's in a 1K club for the year, man. Shout out to my guy Tank, man. And I forgot college. I believe college counts postseason stats with the regular season stats, if I'm not mistaken. Let me know if I'm wrong, guys, but I believe that college counts postseason stats or regular season stats. So let me know in the comments, am I right or wrong about that? But yeah, man. So Tank still has a pretty good chance. He has a really good chance, man. John Brunson's definitely gonna get it, I think. Drip Britton, I believe, is gonna get it. Richard Ryans, that's in the air. Johnny Hubbard, I'm surprised that he's not in a 1K club, but I think he still has a chance for Clemson. He's really good. He had a couple big plays, man. I like Johnny Hubbard. Dre may just be right outside the club, man. Dre may be right outside the club. He got 2 games left though, so Dre might could get it. He got 2 games left. He might could get it. Frankenstein, I got Frank Demir. He might be able to get it. Or Frank Dama might be able to get it. Dylan Winter, maybe. Jawan Rhodes, maybe. AJ Mullis looked really good this year. Maybe though. We'll see, man. But the 1K club is definitely solidified. We got some guys in the 1K club. I want to see a QB. What QB got the most rushing yards? Let me see. Yanksy, my boy Yanksy Rivers got 347. Yanksy got 347 on the year. Not too bad for him. Okay, so Drip only played 10 games so far too. So yeah, Drip definitely may be over the hump. I'm interested to see who's gonna be at the top of the Russian club, man. Definitely can't wait to see. This is gonna be fun to see unfold, man. And once again, just so you guys could see, you guys could go back and see who's at the top of the top when y'all go through your own, y'all may want to keep up. This is a bit misleading only because they got guys with fewer attempts here. We'll see some of the longest runs of the year. Benji Truman, 87 yards. Trey McLean, 86. Ace Lewis, 81. Johnny Hubbard, 80. 75 for Demo. 75 for Jawan Rose. Brian Robinson, 75. I think Brian Robinson just did that in the last game too. 7 touchdowns for Ace Lewis. Ace with the most. So Ace is 3rd in rushing yards. And he's 1st in touchdowns, man. This kid, Ace turned up, man, later in the year. Ace, one of them guys, top guys in the nation as far as rushing goes, man. So shout out to my guy, Ace Lewis. Top 5 in both rushing touchdowns. Number 1 in rushing touchdowns right now. And number 3 in rushing yards. So top 3 in both the top categories for running backs, man. You got to tip your hat to Ace Lewis. He had some tough competition with Devontae Moore, Key Harris. Definitely got some tough competition. These guys are all three in the battle, and it's gonna be interesting to see who get that running back of the year. That, Malcolm. That is gonna be very interesting to see, man. I'm definitely gonna bring that Malcolm watch list back. Not today, but I'm definitely gonna bring that back towards the end of the year, a little closer. I mean, we know we only got 2 weeks left, but so I'll bring it back maybe for the next 2 weeks. But boy, oh boy, boy, oh boy, it is getting tough. Sergio Matthews may have gave up a couple plays since he was on the list, but the boys still leading them interceptions and LSU still winning them games. So you can never count him out. Demo with the most runs for 20-yard plus at 7. And that's kind of what separates him with that big playability. Still, almost leading the charge in yards. It's like he's number 2 in yards, top number 2 in touchdowns, and then number 1 as far as the big runs go. And he has no fumbles on the year. No fumbles. Yanks, he 8 fumbles, the most fumbles on the season. 6 for Duke. Nick Patton at 6. So these QBs got to work on that ball control. PV too. 6 fumbles for Patrick Vince. Benji Truman with 5. So some running backs got to hold on to that ball. Dre Willis got 5. So some running backs on here with a lot of fumbles. Got to get that together, guys. And then here we go. Profit margins. 803, 58 receptions for the Texas go-to receiver. Man, shout out to Profit Margins. 58 catches on a year and 803 in the yard department. Oh, and look, the most catches going to these tight ends and these running backs for the most receptions. That's all these check downs that these quarterbacks be doing. But if you just look, man, Profit Margins, man, doing his thing. Profit Margins doing his thing. 4 touchdowns on the year. Brandon James right behind him, 760. And I like this, man. 2 of our most active receivers are the guys, are the guys at the top. And definitely, man, QB's really spreading the love because you don't really got too many 1K guys. You don't have no 1K guys, but Pharaoh needs 200 to get in a 1K, and I think it's very possible for him. I'm not sure what Texas record is. I think they may have 1 more game. So if it's 1 more game, then it's gonna be tough. But if he has 2 more games, he could be fine. Oh, I keep seeing this little fly. But yeah, that. And then playoffs, playoffs could also help some guys. Playoffs can get some guys over that hump. Not sure if those will be combined. I didn't see if y'all answered, guys. Does college combine postseason stats with actual do they combine postseason stats with actual season stats? Let me know. Let me know. But yep. So here we go for the rest of the receivers. Michael McConaughey worked his way back into the top 5. Jackson Collins still top 10 with 7. I mean, he still got a chance to do something too. I thought this guy was gonna be top 5 all year, but he had some games that he kind of took off. See some tight ends in there too. Brenton Sweet is really good. Definitely seeing some guys, man. Arnett is good too. Jay Rello at 12, 670. See Tyrese McGrady, Gianni Zico. We seeing some guys, man. Shout out to my guy Golden Playbook in the building. Appreciate you for tuning in, man. MSFL podcast, episode 12. We're headed to week 12. In this college series, 13 weeks of the regular season due to each team getting a bye week, and then we go into conference championships and then the playoffs, man. So things are gonna be definitely fun to see. Okay, so he said conference championship counts, but you don't know about playoffs. Yeah, we definitely got to see what's up with that. Yep, man. I see the longest reception: Cedric Hill, Vontae Moore, Brandon James got 1. Jackson Collins. Let's see the touchdown, guys. Who's the touchdowns? Parker Warner. Parker Warner is the truth, man. Parker Warner is going to be a problem at the next level. I'm telling you guys now. Parker Warner is going to be tough. And yes, we definitely got a lot of good tight ends here in this college series. That's going to be fun to see. Jackson Collins, Brenton Sweet, Jay Rello. These are the red zone threat guys. PJ Rivers, Jackson Wells, Cedric Hill, Tyrese McGrady, Hassan Aziz, Junior Locke, Demarcus Armstrong, Kazim Ramsey, Zach Spencer, Troy Frost. Like, we got some guys, man. And I'll go down a little more just so you guys can see, you know, see a little more. And you guys can slow it down, pause if you need to. If you go back. Gary says Parker Warner is going top 5 in the draft. It wouldn't be surprising, man. This kid is just a touchdown machine. I think probably the best slot receiver in the league. And I know it's crazy to say that because we got some really good guys, but I think Parker Warner, true slot, he may be that guy, bro. Just a touchdown machine. He knows what he wants to do. And he gets every time he gets the ball, whether it's on kick return, off of a pass, he just knows how to make a big play, man. So definitely got to show him love. And check out on the defensive end, Juan Cervantes out of Notre Dame. That boy Juan is a problem. 126 tackles, 81 solo. So he definitely gets some assist tackles, but that boy Juan is definitely a problem, man. Juan is definitely a problem. Denzel Bryson, I like a lot. It's a lot of good. I feel like middle linebackers, man. Some guys out there that I feel like can make an impact on the next level, and I can't wait to see them move on to the next level. I want to go to solos too, just to see who's making them plays. Denzel Bryson is a beast. Antoine Weaver, Juan Cervantes, Evan Bennett, Sidney Jackson, Michael Walenka, Paul Jones, Keontae Fields. Go to the assist. Sammy Caruthers be getting a lot of solo tackles at that cornerback position. Brandon Pearman, 62. Wayne Lanham, Junior Wolf. So these are some of the secondary guys. Ty K with the solo tackles. Doing this thing. Okay, Ty K. Man December. Isa Tachi. Okay, Drew B.J. So we got some guys, man. We got some guys getting them tackles. See, tackles for loss. 25 tackles for loss for Aiden Phillips. This kid is a problem. 24 for Darren Levy. 20 for Heath Brothers. Carl Calhoun, 20. Paul Jones, 20. Jabari Whitfield, 20. Like, these outside linebackers right here, Heath Brothers, Darren Levy, Aiden Phillips. Like, boy, oh boy. These guys on the edge are tough. Tough. Very, very tough. Terrence Perkins. This guy's tough, man. Jared Bingham is another guy that's tough. Khalil Allen, another guy that's really tough. Some of these guys are sack machines, so may have less tackles for loss, but when we get into the sack department, it gets crazy. Alexander Fort leading the charge. Darren Levy and Aiden Phillips following him. Carl Calhoun, Terrence Perkins. Like, these dudes, Randy Ward, Heath Brothers, like, boy, these dudes can fill it up. Fill it up. Body bag season when you see these guys, man. Body bag season. Who got the most forced fumbles? Dwayne McBride, Deion Lindsey, Denzel Bryson, Gabe Kemp, Theo Mann, Mike Guy, the safety with 3. Chris Tomlinson. Got some guys on here, man. Got some guys on here forcing them fumbles. I got Waverly up there with 2. Waverly getting them strips, okay? Okay. Let's go to the sacks real quick. Let's just go to the sack side. Even though we've seen this already. Just give y'all a nice little idea of what's going on, man. These guys right here is no joke. No joke at all. Tackles for loss. Aiden Phillips leading the chart. Aiden Phillips, really good user, man. Freshman guy doing this type of numbers. This kid is gonna be a problem. Force fumbles. Dwayne McBride. We looked over that. We get to the interceptions. Y'all know who? Sergio Matthews, guys. Sergio Matthews, that guy for LSU. I told you, this kid is a problem. This is exactly why he's on the Malcolm list, man. When I say like game changing, man, game changing. He done sealed the game. He done called game with some picks, man. You cannot count this guy out. Sergio Matthews is a problem. 7 interceptions. He has the most in the league. Really just his impact on the game is phenomenal. And I can't stress it enough, man. This kid is a huge problem. Huge problem. Um, Sylvester Norcutt, LaMelo Brackens, Romeo Gordon, these guys are really good as well. Brackens is slept on, but Brackens gives up some plays. He's a smaller guy too. 6'1", 180. That's not that small, but I just feel like he doesn't play as strong at that size. I've seen him have trouble with bigger receivers. I definitely seen Brackens, get exposed a couple times. But I mean, he got a knack for being at the right place at the right time. Sylvester Norcutt is a really good guy too. Big corner, 6'3", 184. And 6 interceptions. I know, that's something scouts will definitely rave about. 5'10" for Romeo Gordon, and that's gonna be tough. But this kid catches interceptions as well. This kid plays tough. So yeah, Brackens is hit or miss, man. But I think a team will definitely take a chance on Brackens just because he got the potential. He has the potential. So you're not gonna say Brackens don't got the potential, but it's just I don't know, man. He got the potential, but he just got to put it together more consistently. Now, Kamari Hill, Tyke Wells, these is lockdown territory. Tevin Hargrave is another guy that is really, really tough. Some of these guys' interceptions don't tell a story. Kennard Roden only has 2 interceptions, but he's a lockdown. Waverly Harris only 3 interceptions, lockdown. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really tell a story completely all the time as far as just looking at interceptions, but sometimes it can make sense. Nazir Fitzgerald is another, Fitzsimmons is another one, 5'11" guy, smaller guy, but definitely good. Terrell Terry, decent too, 6'3", 195. He stepped up for y'all late. I think it'll be interesting to see who goes first, LaMelo Brackens or Terrell Terry, because both of them is pretty solid at corner. I like both of them. So it's gonna be interesting to see how those guys pan out. So yeah, we could keep going just so you guys could see what's going on. Next is kicking. We haven't really seen any returns like that. I feel like the returns haven't been as much. Gentry for the Longhorns. I feel like Gentry missed a couple kicks this week. Facts. I feel like he missed a couple kicks this week. So they had to be 50 or between 40 and 49 because he hasn't missed any inside. And those ones on the inside is what hurt the most. When it comes to field goal percentage, Walter Chambers, Clemson's kicker is 100%. 100%. That boy is doing it. Jeremiah Phillips of LSU, 96%. We got some kickers doing the thing, man. Got some kickers that just cost their team a game. Notre Dame kicker. Oh my God. He almost cost them big time, guys. Well, he did cost them big time. And, had we not had that vote on the 14 teams, he might have had them out of there, to be honest with you. So, yeah, man, that has to be definitely figured out, man, for those guys, because that was bad. That was bad. That was terrible, man, for those guys. But on the return, we can't even scale the returns because it's not filtered that way. But you got 2 for Cam Macy. Yeah, it's still the same. I don't think nobody's ran anything back up since Kari Rivers. Yeah, nobody has ran anything back for real. They kind of slowed down early in the season. We were seeing more. Seems like some teams really doubled down on their special teams, man, and made sure to not give up no points there. But man, that's really it, man. That's really it. Players of the week. Eli Hawkins, the book, got player of the week this week on one side. Kenny Knox got player of the week on the other side. He had a hat trick, 327. And then Raphael Tate with 3 sacks last week. Devin Westbrook with 9 tackles, 2 interceptions. And yeah, man, that's it. You guys let me know, man. Nah, I don't think I'm gonna put no committee together because we pretty much gonna know. Like, look at these teams right now based on record. It's not gonna be hard to pick like the top 14 teams, I believe. Um, especially too based on the conference. But yeah, I don't think it'll be hard, man. I think I pretty much got this. Let me know if y'all got any questions, man. Let me know if y'all got any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. I will be getting that schedule together. And some of the mods, can help me with getting that schedule together. Just by letting me know what teams already played double. If you can help me find and go through that, that'll help a lot. Because I may have to take the day tomorrow just to get that schedule together. Because I will be in the gallery tomorrow, so I can't just if I got some time in the gallery, then I will be trying to fix the schedule. But just to not postpone things, the quicker I could get the schedule done, I could just hop into games for week 12, and then get that schedule ready for week 13. But yeah, man, let me know if y'all got any questions, and yeah, man, we can make it happen, man. We will make it happen. Um, yeah, any questions before we get out of here? How long did we run this pod for? Usually we be on for about hour and a half, almost 2 hours sometimes. Okay, so we under that right now. Not bad timing. Not bad timing. Just let me know, man. Let me know if y'all got any questions. I'll wait for questions for I'll say 2 minutes, 10:53. Yeah, so at 10:55, I'll get up out of here. But in the meantime, if it's anything you guys want to see too, just let me know. Um, Definitely can't wait till 24 comes out. It's gonna be fire for sure. Gonna do some things, make sure sliders and stuff is right first. Y'all know me, gotta make sure everything is realistic. But I can't wait neither. It's gonna be super fun. Super duper fun, man. And I know I'm gonna enjoy myself. I know the league is gonna be in good hands. And I'm not seeing no questions come in, man. So I don't think I even have to wait too long on the questions. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. I will get in the Discord if there's guys in there. If there's guys in the VC or guys talking and want to hop in the VC for a minute, I can. But if y'all chilling, enjoy your night with your families. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. It's been another good podcast as always, man. And yeah, man, peace and blessings to all of y'all, man. I'm out. It's your boy Kamish Mula Nara, man. Welcome to the Mulaverse, man. If you're new here, only place where you can see the game, be the game, play the game as the game plays you. And welcome to hashtag Our League, man. So let me get a hashtag Our League before we get out of here. But your boy's out, man. Peace.